Guyana's education sector continues to reach new heights after 2 years under the strategic guidance of the BBPC administration. Since assuming office in August 2020, even amid the COVID 19 pandemic, the administration kept its word to revolutionize the education system, ensuring the nation's youths gain equal access to education at all levels of learning. Since face to face engagement was no longer an option for learners during the pandemic, the ministry in 2020 expended $200 million to expand the Guyana Learning Channel (GLC) to enhance distance learning, ensuring youths benefit from equal opportunities. The massive move is aligned with the Educational Sector Strategic Plan (ESSP) to use technology to push distance education countrywide.
This budget that you say provides nothing for anyone is giving $200 million for the expansion of the channel. And you know what that expansion will entail? That expansion would entail us having 6 learning channels at the same time. So the problem the member complains about, which is we have to start from 8 o'clock, we could start from 10 and take nursery all the way till 3 o'clock. And we could start grade 1 on the other channel and take it teach whole day. So it's not 2 hours, 2 hours. That is vision. That is putting your money where your mouth is. We want to serve the people.
Now completed, youths in Berbice, Bartica, Lower East Bank, Lower East Coast, West Bank, Demerara, and Georgetown can access the channel. In keeping with government's manifesto promise to provide equal access to service, over 100 Amerindian communities also benefited from the initiative. The channel also launched its first ever owned and operated radio station called Edu FM 99.7 FM. Edu FM will provide local educational content targeting nursery, primary, and secondary aged students in the areas of mathematics, science, social studies, and English.
The challenge we've been having over the years is that a lot of the resources and the attention has been concentrated on the coast. And we can see it in the results too, but the minister and the ministry want to replicate these kind of resources and replicate these kind of results in the hinterland and in the riverine areas. So the radio station is yet another avenue that's going to effectively, I believe, is going to reach those places.
Another extension of the GLC is WizKid, a game show which helps to prepare students for the National Grade 6 assessment. It features eager Grade 6 students from various schools answering NGSA level questions in 4 subject areas: mathematics, English language, science, and social studies. In the latter part of 2020, preparations began to reopen schools to face-to-face learning for grades 10, 11, and 12 students. The decision came after extensive consultation sessions among the Education Ministry, the Caribbean Examination Council (CXC), the Guyana Teachers Union (GTU), regional education officers, medical professionals, teachers, parents, students, and others to allow this practice in secondary schools and technical and vocational institutions. To secure the safety of both students and teachers when returning to school, several measures were implemented, such as the distribution of care packages, which included masks, vitamins, redesigned classrooms to enforce social distancing and sanitizing materials. Adequate hand washing stations and rotation of students and teachers were also implemented. In keeping with the ministry's drive to improve the delivery of education, the use of virtual platforms became a necessity to boost government's effort to service its youths effectively. Continuing on the trend of technology-infused learning, several smart classrooms were commissioned to improve the education sector. Schools in regions 3, 6, and 10 benefited from this. Queen's College, President's College, Brigham Secondary, East Rheinveld Multilateral, Lenora Secondary, and several schools in the East Berbice Caribbean region were among the many beneficiaries. Similar interventions are expected to be implemented in other high schools. This is in keeping with the ministry's strategic education development plan, recognizing the importance of technology to the education sector amid the pandemic led to this historic moment. The smart classroom can also be viewed as a mechanism of impacting students from a distance.
A smart classroom basically creates the atmosphere as if it's a interaction between teacher and student in real time. So you could be in Ramadan and I could be at Ensort and I'm teaching and you could say, "Sir, I would like you to go for this point again." And so that happens in real time. With lessons that are recorded, you don't have that luxury where the teacher could actually interact with the student in real time. And I think that's a beautiful thing about the smart classroom. The student could ask questions could be answered there and then, and this kind of rapport and interaction that gives life to teaching and learning.
Notwithstanding all of the challenges faced in the education sector amid the pandemic, Guyana performed well in both the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination (CAPE) for 2020 and the National Grade 6 Assessment. For CAPE, Guyana saw an increase of 93.22% in 2020 from 90.86% in 2021. Some 671 students from 17 institutions wrote CAPE exams. A similar increase was recorded for CSEC with a 68.5% pass rate in 2022 from 66.36% last year. A total of 10,368 candidates wrote the exams this year. Significant improvements were recorded for mathematics and English A. Meanwhile, Guyana has seen an impressive increase in its performance in science and social studies at the National Grade 6 Assessment (NGSA) this year. This is according to the Caribbean Examination Council's Operations Director, Dr. Nicole Manning, who made the disclosure during the NGSA Results 2020 ceremony at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. The ministry also invested over $65 million in ICT equipment for TVET institutions to provide online learning. Institutions that benefited include the Government Technical Institute, Linden Technical Institute, New Amsterdam Technical Institute, Guyana Industrial Training Center, Essequibo Technical Institute, Upper Quarantine Industrial Training Center, Maikoni Technical and Vocational Training Center, Lenora Technical and Vocational Training Center, Carnegie School of Home Economics, and Craft Production and Design Department. Equipment included 138 laptops, 12 tablets, 40 camcorders, 128 projectors, and 20 cloud storage devices. Redeemer Primary also became the first primary school to have internet access in every class with the construction of a new information communication technology laboratory. The school is now equipped with 18 computer systems connected to 100 megabytes of bandwidth and fiber optic cable. To ensure each child has the means to attend school every day, the government reintroduced the Because We Care Cash Grant and School Uniform and Supplies program in keeping with its manifesto promise. In 2021, the Because We Care Cash Grant and the School Uniform and Supplies Grant were distributed to children in the public and private school systems. The Because We Care grant, valued $15,000, was a significant boost from the previous $10,000. The School Uniform and Supplies grant was also increased from $2,000 to $4,000. Over $3.5 billion was expended to benefit 189,000 public and private students. This year, the Because We Care Cash Grant initiative moved from $15,000 to $25,000, while the school uniform grants moved from $4,000 to $5,000, making it $30,000 per child.
Having a kid going to school, and I feel this is a nice appreciation what the government did to the people of Guyana. Appreciate it. Mr. President, I appreciate what you have did. I appreciate what you have did for the people of Guyana, and I hope it will be continued for the next couple of years, and I wish that a long term in government.
I I think that this is going to go a far and long way in making the lives of the child and the parents more comfortable and better. And the total sum with all these cash grants is also going to have a good effect on the economy. And that, I think, is reflective of bright leadership. So I'm grateful for it, and I'm glad that all parents and children around the country can benefit from it. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy about this initiative because of the corona and everything that's been going on. It's been very hard for me, especially as a single parent. I have 3 kids, so it will be a great help to me.
I am happy about what the Minister of Education is doing, and we pray that God continue to inspire her, that she will continue to do what she's doing, because so far she have the children well-being at heart, and that's why we are happy for her.
First of all, I'm asking the government of Guyana to participate on this occasion, and all the parents them who's here to collect this money. I plan to go and buy 2 uniforms for her, 2 shorts and 2 shoes. And I'll go to another level with the rest of the money.
Well, I'm very glad and thankful for it because I have only one, and she write exam, and I really thankful for it, and I really thank the government.
Well, I think this initiative is a great one from the government of Guyana, and I would like to say thank you to the government, especially the Minister of Education. And it's just like the grant says, because we care, and I think this is a caring government, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for this cash grant. And you can hear many negative things out there, but to some it might look small, but to others it's something great that they would be receiving, especially to single parents.
The Education Ministry also focused on improving the quality and quantity of teachers in schools countrywide. To ensure all educators gain access to this opportunity, the Cyril Potter College of Education, CPCE, went fully online, following an investment of over $500 million last year. The ministry continues to make more interventions this year.
We must recognize that to grow our organization, our ministry, we need to grow our people, which is the concerted effort of our ministry. I am sure you will hear more about this effort as we consider the numerous training programs implemented for our teachers, officers, and students. When you hear about the expansion of the Cyril Potter College of Education that catered for 500 students then, now we will be admitting 4,000 students. So in a few short years, if I could say that, we will see trained teachers standing in front of our students in every region.
Being a trained teacher, how will it impact the student is that they will have a child-friendly classroom when they come to school, and that will motivate them because children like bright colors. And a trained teacher will able to assist the slow learners, and while she's doing that, she can manage her classroom, and everybody can be at the same pace. So being a trained teacher, it's very important.
I find that the trained teachers are more impactful because they would have been garnered with the skills that they need to deal with children on all levels, whether it be socially, academically, you know. So they're at the college, they're trained in all spheres of education, so they have what it takes to take on the challenge of molding the nation's children, preparing them to the best of their ability. So I see this initiative of having all teachers trained is something that is beneficial and necessary for the profession of teaching, but not only to the teachers, but also to the pupils, because they are going to benefit the most.
So I have mixed emotions, meaning I agree that teachers should be trained because It teaches us not just the content, but it teaches us methodologies, meaning how to teach. So if we go into the classroom, we can have stuff planned, but you may have go into the classroom saying that, okay, I'm going to teach algebra today. But I realize that my students, they don't have that knowledge of algebra. As a trained teacher, no, not just as a trained teacher, but because I went to college, I've been taught methodology. I know how to slip back, how to go back without students actually knowing that, okay, I wasn't prepared for that. On the same path, we have many untrained teachers who have been teaching for several years who is capable of doing the same. But for me, why teach and not train?
To increase students' attendance and improve their attentiveness during classes, some $2 billion was set aside to cater for 85,773 nursery and primary school pupils through the government's National School Feeding Program.
I want you to note that when we're doing something, is everybody getting it? Everybody is getting it. Yesterday, for the first time, Region 2 got that program. They never saw it before. Today, Region 10 is getting that program, and it will continue. And let me tell you the facets of the program. Every grade 6 child will get breakfast. Why grade 6? Because they're in an exam class. So if we have to start, I think that would be the best place to start.
Further advancing education in Guyana, another major undertaking by the government is the Guyana Online Academy of Learning GOAL Scholarship Program. GOAL was conceptualized and established in 2020, and it is providing 20,000 online scholarships to Guyanese by 2025. It offers 180 diverse online programs through 16 local and international educational institutions. The GOAL initiative ushers a new era of higher education and capacity building in Guyana. It seeks to transform the teaching learning landscape from a classroom-based event to online flexible learning practices. This program is free of cost and has responded to the dire need for improving the skills needed in a rapidly developing country.
We learned that there were many gaps in our hinterland regions, in our rural areas, where persons, young people, older people, were not able to gain a skill set or an academic qualification to be able to have a tertiary education.
It means a lot of things. One, I get to earn a higher qualification set other than my bachelor's degree that I have currently. And it also allows me to give back to the country in a more meaningful way, especially with climate change and climate variability overwhelming Guyana at this point.
The GOAL scholarship is very, very important because many of us cannot afford to do advanced studies. Like, I've done my degree, but I couldn't afford to have done my master's. So with the GOAL scholarship give me that opportunity to go further, to increase my knowledge, increase my skills and competency. And it gives me more opportunities to advance myself.
In 2021, 6,000 Guyanese were granted scholarships through the GOAL program. Of that amount, 805 persons reside in hinterland communities. This year, an additional 8,000 persons are expected to benefit. Several educational facilities across the country are also being erected to accommodate growing student population to be taught in a conducive environment.
I want you to be able to take that opportunity. If you have not already, take that today, because the government makes education a priority, and we do not want our Amerindian brothers and sisters to be left behind at all.